What if I told you that 90 days from today, you could be looking at a completely different version of yourself? Not through magic, not through shortcuts, but through consistent, disciplined action. I documented every single day of my transformation, and what I discovered changed everything I thought I knew about personal growth. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have the exact blueprint I used to transform my life in just 3 months. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel! If you're new here, I'm all about realistic personal development and showing you what actually works, not just what sounds good. 3 months ago, I was stuck. I was waking up late, scrolling through my phone for hours, skipping workouts, eating whatever was convenient, and feeling like every day was just a repeat of the one before. I knew I needed to change, but I didn't know where to start. So I made a decision. I was going to commit to 90 days of disciplined living and document the entire process. No filters, no editing out the hard parts, just the real journey. Before we dive into the transformation, let me show you where I started. This was me on day 1. I weighed myself that morning, took progress photos, and wrote down exactly how I was feeling. I was tired all the time, my energy was low, and honestly, I wasn't happy with the person I saw in the mirror. But more than the physical stuff, I felt mentally foggy. I couldn't focus on tasks for more than 20 minutes without checking my phone. I was consuming content all day but creating nothing of value. That feeling of wasting potential, that's what really pushed me to make this change. So here's what I committed to for the next 90 days. Wake up at 5:30 a.m. every single morning. No exceptions. Spend the first hour of my day without looking at my phone. That meant no social media, no emails, no distractions. Instead, I would use that time for reading, journaling, or just thinking. Second, I committed to working out 6 days a week. Nothing crazy, just 45 minutes of exercise, whether that was running, lifting weights, or doing bodyweight exercises at home. Third, I cut out processed foods and committed to eating 3 balanced meals a day with plenty of protein, vegetables, and whole grains. Fourth, I would spend at least 1 hour every day working on a skill I wanted to develop. For me, that was learning video editing and improving my content creation. And finally, I committed to going to bed by 10 p.m. to make sure I was getting enough sleep to recover and stay consistent. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like a lot, and you're right. It was a massive shift from my previous lifestyle. But here's the thing I learned. You don't change your life by doing one big thing. You change it by doing small things consistently over time. And that's exactly what this 90-day journey taught me. Let me walk you through what happened during each phase of this transformation, starting with the first 30 days. I'm not going to lie to you. The first week was brutal. My body wasn't used to waking up at 5:30, so I was exhausted all day. I was sore from the workouts because I hadn't been consistent with exercise in months, and cutting out all the junk food I was eating made me realize how much I was using sugar and caffeine to get through the day. There were mornings where that alarm went off, and every part of me wanted to hit snooze and go back to sleep. But I had made a commitment, and I knew that if I broke it in week 1, this whole thing was over. So I stuck with it. And somewhere around day 10, something shifted. Waking up early started to feel a little easier. My body began adapting to the workouts, and I actually started looking forward to that morning hour without my phone. It became my favorite part of the day. Just me, a cup of coffee, and my journal. I was using that time to set intentions for the day, think about my goals, and honestly, just enjoy the quiet before the world woke up. By the end of the first 30 days, I had lost about 8 pounds, but more importantly, I had gained something way more valuable: momentum. See, the physical changes were nice, but what really changed was my mindset. I proved to myself that I could set a goal and follow through. I wasn't the person who quit after a week anymore. I was becoming someone who kept their commitments, and that shift in identity, that was everything. I remember looking at myself in the mirror on day 30 and thinking, okay, I can actually do this. The doubt was starting to fade, and confidence was taking its place. Then came days 31 to 60. And this is where things got really interesting. The habits I had forced myself to do in the first month started becoming automatic. I wasn't fighting with myself every morning to get out of bed. My body just woke up at 5:30 naturally. The workouts weren't torture anymore. They were something I genuinely enjoyed. I was getting stronger. I could run longer distances without getting winded, and I was starting to see real definition in my muscles. The healthy eating had become normal. I wasn't craving junk food the way I used to, and when I did eat something unhealthy, I could actually feel the difference in my energy levels. But here's what nobody tells you about transformations. Around day 45, I hit a plateau. The scale wasn't moving as fast as it did in the first month. The initial excitement had worn off, and I was in what I call the boring middle. This is where most people quit. The novelty is gone, the results are slower, and it just feels like a grind. But I had anticipated this. I knew it was coming because I had quit at this exact stage in previous attempts to change my life. So this time, I had a different strategy. Instead of focusing on the results, I focused on the process. I celebrated the fact that I showed up every single day. I reminded myself that transformation isn't linear. Some weeks you'll see massive progress, other weeks you'll see none. But as long as you keep showing up, you're moving forward. And I'm so glad I pushed through that plateau, because days 50 to 60 brought some of the biggest breakthroughs. I noticed I was sleeping better than I had in years. My focus and concentration had improved dramatically. I could sit down and work on a project for 2 or 3 hours straight without getting distracted. My mood was more stable. I wasn't having those energy crashes in the afternoon anymore. And people started noticing. Friends and family were commenting on how different I looked and how much more energetic I seemed. That external validation felt good. But honestly, the internal changes meant more to me. By day 60, I had lost a total of 15 pounds. But I had also gained muscle, so my body composition had changed significantly. I was stronger, leaner, and I had more endurance than I'd had in my 20s. But beyond the physical transformation, I had developed skills I didn't have before. I had gotten significantly better at video editing because I had been practicing every single day. One had read 8 books in those 60 days. I had journaled every morning and had a record of my thoughts, struggles, and victories. I was creating instead of just consuming, and that shift changed everything. Then came the final 30 days. Days 61 to 90. And this is where everything came together. At this point, the habits weren't habits anymore. They were just who I was. I didn't have to think about waking up early, or working out, or eating healthy. It was automatic. My brain had been rewired through consistent repetition, and these behaviors had become my new normal. This freed up so much mental energy because I wasn't constantly fighting against myself or making decisions about whether or not I was going to do the things I committed to. I just did them. With that extra mental energy, I started setting bigger goals. I wasn't just maintaining the habits anymore, I was optimizing them. I experimented with different types of workouts to see what gave me the best results. I fine-tuned my morning routine to make it even more productive. I started meal prepping on Sundays, so I wasn't wasting time during the week thinking about what to eat, and I doubled down on the skill development, spending even more time learning and practicing because I was starting to see real progress. And it motivated me to push harder. The final weigh-in on day 90 showed I had lost a total of 22 pounds. But here's what the scale doesn't show. I had gained confidence, discipline, focus, and a completely different relationship with myself. I had proven that I was capable of setting a goal and achieving it. I had developed the habit of keeping commitments, which is honestly one of the most valuable skills you can have in life. And I had created a lifestyle that I actually enjoyed. Not some restrictive diet or unsustainable routine, but a way of living that made me feel good every single day. So what did I learn from this 90-day journey? First, transformation takes time. You're not going to see massive changes in a week or even 2 weeks. But if you stay consistent for 90 days, you will be shocked at how different your life can look. Second, the hardest part is the beginning. Those first 2 weeks are going to test you. Your body will resist. Your mind will try to talk you out of it, and you'll want to quit. But if you can push through that initial resistance, it hits easy. Third, focus on the process, not just the results. There will be days where you don't see progress on the scale or in the mirror. But if you showed up and did the work, that's a win. Celebrate the discipline, not just the outcome. Fourth, you have to track your progress. I took photos every 10 days. I journaled every morning. And I kept a workout log, being able to look back and see how far I had come, especially during the tough days that kept me going. And fifth, this is the most important one. You have to believe that you're capable of change. For years, I told myself I wasn't a morning person. I wasn't disciplined. I wasn't the type of person who could stick to goals. But those were just stories I was telling myself. The truth is, you can become whoever you decide to become. It just takes consistent action over time. Now, I want to be real with you. My life isn't perfect now. I still have bad days. There are mornings where I don't feel like getting out of bed. There are workouts I don't want to do. But the difference is, I do them anyway because I've built the discipline to follow through even when I don't feel like it. And that's what separates the person I am now from the person I was 90 days ago. I'm not controlled by my feelings anymore. I'm controlled by my commitments. If you're watching this and thinking about starting your own transformation, here's my advice. Don't wait for the perfect time because it doesn't exist. Don't try to change everything at once because you'll burn out. Pick 3 to 5 habits you want to build. Commit to them for 90 days. And document your journey. Take the before photos, even if you don't want to. Write down how you're feeling on day 1. And then just start. Day 1 is today. Not Monday, not next month, not after the holidays. Today, the version of yourself 90 days from now is depending on the decision you make right now. You can stay exactly where you are, comfortable but unfulfilled, or you can take the first step toward becoming the person you know you're capable of being. I chose to change, and it was the best decision I've ever made. The only question is, what are you going to choose? If this video motivated you, do me a favor and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more real transformation content without the hype or the gimmicks. And drop a comment below telling me what habit you're going to commit to for the next 90 days. I read every single comment, and I want to hear about your journey. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Now go out there and make it happen.